Hey guys, it's Maymay, and I know you're going to get two Cricut videos back to back on Saturdays. However, when I did my Cricut boot camp, I promised I would bring you a sticker lesson or a sticker video, and that's what this one is. So I'm going on vacation next week with my family, and we're going to be doing a folio in real time. I'm going to print the pictures while we're there, and me and my granddaughters are going to put this together. And I thought it'd be cute if I could make some stickers that were kind of specific to what we were doing, kind of making their own ephemera for their folio, if that makes sense. So I have some sticker paper, and it's not exactly the one I want to use. The one I have is the waterproof sticker paper, but it's what I've got, and I'm going to use what I've got. And I want to show you how I'm going to make that happen. So you see all these images on the screen? I went into images and I typed in things like Thanksgiving or family vacation. I'll show you this real quick. And I just pulled up different images that I thought were really cute. I just clicked them and I added them to the page. And I just found ones, like I said, that kind of went with what we were doing. And we're kind of going to the mountains and an aquarium, and we've got aunts and uncles that are going to be there and things like that. So I thought that'd be kind of cute what I have pulled in here. I also think I'm going to turn these guys into like a title for the front of the folio, but we'll get there. So these images that I brought in right now are just images sitting on the canvas. Okay, they are not stickers, they're not flattened, they're not print and cut, nothing. They are just images that I brought in. But I want to turn them into stickers. But before I do that, some of these colors are pretty similar to each other, but not all of them really match. Like these are a little bit bright, and I kind of want this to feel like an ephemera pack that I kind of created. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. So I'm going to head over here to my layers panel, and where it says material colors, I'm going to click on that. Now when I do, this drop down gives me every single image and its color that is on my mat. There's a lot of black. You see that? What I want to do is close this little arrow out, just like this. And the reason I'm doing that is because all I want to see right now is just the colors. I don't really want to see what images are those colors. So I'm just going to close out any that are just kind of sitting here and open. Okay, now I'm going to scroll through here and show you. Look how many colors there are. Now, I don't really mind this because I'm doing a print, then cut project. If you were doing this on cardstock and you had to load, or even vinyl, and had to load all these colors, you definitely would want to consider this. But I want this to feel like it kind of goes together, like I put it together on purpose. So the first thing I'm going to do, this is black, okay? And that's fine. I like the black color, and some of these are shades of black. See, like these four right here? What I'm going to do is click on that color and bring it into that other one. Do you see what I'm doing there? I'm just dragging up, and this is just going to make all of those that are shades of black the same black. This is another one, and I can drag it up there. And again, I just close out that little guy once I get him moved. Now those are pretty much brown. This could probably be black as well. So let's pull that into there and then close that down. And what it's doing, if you're watching my screen, is these colors are changing to black, the ones that I'm pulling in. Now let's look at this. There's a lot of blues, okay? I really love this color, and some of these colors I don't love so much, but I'm gonna drag them into the blue that I like. So watch this. If I grab material 3 and I pull it into 2, I don't think I got it in there. Let me do that again. Pull that into 2, there we go. Now, I'm getting less blues, so things are going to match more for me, okay? All these browns, I do not need this many browns. I'm going to pick the one that I love. I really like this guy right here. Also think about this. I'm using a paper pack, so I'm kind of trying to think what colors go best with my paper pack. So I've mixed all those up, so now I have one brown, okay? This green's okay. It's not my favorite green. I feel like one of these goes better with my paper pack. So let me grab this guy, and I think I'm going to go to color 10. I think they will match better there. But I'm just going to move these guys around until I get my colors all kind of where I want them. Let's go right there. I'll bring this guy down here. And you'll see what will happen is my colors on the mat will start to match each other. By the time we're done, especially like, see these blues? That's not the blue I want for my paper pack. I think what I'll do is take this big blue and put it into more of this muted blue because it really matches my paper better. Number 8 down here, that's where I want it. Close that one up. Close that one up. So now you see that those change to that more matching my theme color. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run through and get my colors more matching, and then we'll turn them into stickers. So now that I've got all of my colors like I want them, it's time to turn these into stickers. Now, I'm going to do it individually. I'm going to click each one and turn them into a sticker, and I'm going to show you how to do that. The reason I'm going to do that is because in my practice for this video, when I select all of them and turn them into a sticker, it turns it into one sheet, and it's too big for what I'm doing. I'm using it on my Joy Extra. So I want them to be individual stickers because I also want the Cricut to make the most of the sheet when it comes time to make them and place them where it can get the most stickers on a single page, okay? So I don't want to turn them into one big sticker. So here's how you turn an image into a sticker. Let's click this Talk Turkey to Me up here in the top. All you're going to do is have it selected, choose the pencil, okay, and go to sticker. Now I have to choose if I want it to be a die cut or a kiss cut. Now this is important. If you want to create a sticker that is individually cut out that you can give to someone and they can peel the backer off and stick it onto something, that is a die cut sticker. It cuts all the way through the material to the exact design, okay? I don't want that. I want mine to live on a sheet. So I want to kiss cut them so that whenever my granddaughters are playing with these stickers, they can just peel them off the sheet one at a time. And I only have to travel with sheets of stickers and not a pack of individual stickers. Okay, so I'm going to click kiss cut. Now this is what's so cool. I want you to watch our little turkey sticker up there, okay? Right now it has no border, but I want it to have a border. So I'm going to click on border and I'm going to choose standard and watch what happens. See how it puts that standard border around my image? Love that. Now I can change that border color. I want you to watch it. If I wanted it to be like a brown color, I could come down here and drag this until I get a brown color and you see what it does. I'm not going to do that, but I just wanted you to see that you could change that border if you wanted. Now, if you forgot to make this a die cut here, you can do this here. And this is what it does. It creates an easy peel with an additional border that goes all the way around through the liner. Now, what that means is it's going to give you a little extra space for you to peel them off the edge. I'm not worried about that. We're going to be fine with how we've got them. Also, if I wanted to cut the interior shapes, I could click this, but I don't want to cut the interior images. I just want stickers. So I'm going to tell this to apply. Oh no, I want to change that border back to white. There we go. Now apply. So this guy is now a sticker, okay? Now what I want to do is run through and make all of these stickers. Now, if you didn't want to have to make each individual one of these stickers, you could set yourself a parameter using a shape that would be like 8.5 by 11, because that's the size of the paper you can load into the Joy. And then you could select them all at one time and kind of treat them as one. So what I'm going to do is just run through and turn each of these into stickers, and then we'll get right back together. So I believe I have everything done, but the way to check is to run to your layers panel and just run through and look and make sure that everything says sticker, and mine does, so we are good. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to make this. So watch. Up here, I have my Joy Extra selected. That's the machine I'm going to use, and I'm going to go to Make. It's always a good idea to save your project. I'll just call this Thanksgiving Stickers and click Save. So I don't have to do that again in case something were to, glitch. You never know. Now, I want to show you this because I kind of waited for this moment to check this out, okay? Rather than going through and sizing every single one of my stickers, I just wanted to kind of see what these were going to look like, right? And from what I see here, these guys are a little bigger than I want. So this means I can go over there and grab them all and resize them all at the same time. So what I'm going to do is say cancel to this. And these guys in particular are much bigger than I really want them to be. So I'm going to resize them down. And I'm using my grid to kind of show me. I don't need them to be perfect. They're just stickers. But I'm just using this grid. I want them to be about 3, maybe 4 inches. You see how that one's about 3 inches. Then I'm going to grab all of the rest of them, and I'm just going to size them down just by clicking and dragging. About like that. And now what I'm going to do is say make it and see what we look like. You could take the time to resize every one of these stickers, but I just think this is kind of neat to be able to see them and know what I'm looking at. All right, that's better. They're still kind of big. I still could probably trim some of these down a bit. Those are cute. Those are cute. The girls aren't going to need massive big stickers. I'm noticing here that I don't have this one right. Do you see this says that it's a basic cut? We need to work on that one. And this goes with it. I thought I saw some with that. Let's cancel that and go back and look at it. So that word was laughs. And I think what's wrong with it is set to be a cut. And so what I'm going to do real quick is pull this guy out of here. I'm going to ungroup him so I can see what I'm working with. So there's two pieces here, okay? And I think what I'll do is I'll flatten him and then go back to the pencil and turn him to a sticker. I think he was just a cut image that I brought in. And the cool thing is you can see that, you know, before we get started too much, I could see that he was a cut image. I actually think I'm going to edit his border. That border's a little thick. He doesn't match the rest, so now he looks good. Okay, so that's one way to catch all the little things. I'm going to resize these bigger ones. So I'm going to select the ones that are still a little bit big. Just running around the page and grabbing the ones I think are kind of big, and I'm going to shrink them down a bit. This one was a little big. Now let's see what this looks like. Okay, this feels better to me. They're still kind of big, but I want the girls to be able to have, you know, something that feels like ephemera when they're working. And you can see that we got rid of that mat that was wanting to cut. Okay, that was kind of a lazy way to do this. You literally would want to size each one of your stickers if you're making them for something specific. But for me, like I said, I'm just making kind of sticker ephemera to play with. So you see all these say print then cut, and that is what we want. And now I want to show you another kind of checks and balance. So I told you, I just went through grabbing images and throwing them onto the canvas to make these stickers with. But if you look down here, it says check out. That means something or more than one thing is a licensed image that I'll have to pay for. So I'm going to click check out and see what it is. Okay, so it is this licensed, you see it says licensed Happy Thanksgiving image. So what I'm going to do is delete it. I don't need that image. I could get a different one. So let's go back and I'm going to find it here and I'm going to delete it. And then I'm just going to go to images and find another Thanksgiving image. And I'll get one that is not licensed and we'll use it. So you can see here I changed it out with this one and I turned it into a sticker as well. So let's go make again. Okay, now you see when you look at the bottom it says continue. So all of these images I have now are included in my subscription. That's not too bad considering I just ran through willy-nilly clicking images and putting them on the mat. But it's cool because you can always know before you get to the end result, you know, that you had to pay for something. Okay, so I'm going to click continue. Now, here's what I want to show you. This is interesting. We've improved accuracy. A one-time calibration is recommended for best results. So this is good. This means in some update that we've had, they've improved the accuracy of the cuts. So my machine needs to be calibrated. No big deal. Here's what you do. You click calibrate. I'm going to tell this to print to my printer. And then I will go pick that up and we will calibrate our machine. So this is the sheet that it prints. This is the calibration sheet. And what I'm going to do is put it onto my Cricut or to my mat at the top here, okay? And you know that it's the top because you're reading the numbers correctly and you can read the letters correctly. And now this I will load in to the Cricut Joy Extra. But first I'll click continue on my screen and it tells me what to do in the top left corner. And it tells me here to make sure I have my machine prepared, and I do. I'm going to load my mat. Now you can hear my machine off screen. It's loading the mat in, and it's going to do this cut that I'll show you in just a minute. It's telling me to tell it go for it to calibrate. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so on the screen it says, without unloading, examine the cut line around the small square in the middle of the calibration sheet. Does the cut line touch the printed line all the way around? And mine does, so I'm going to let this be good. This says that yes, I can proceed to fine calibration, or no, let's do a basic calibration. Because mine does, I can click yes because I'm answering this question. Okay, so click yes and say continue. This was pretty smart right here. I went away from it before you could read it, but it says you may need to take a photo of the calibration on your smartphone and then zoom in to answer the question. That's a good idea. I did put my glasses on so I could see it, but it was pretty easy to see. What this guy's doing while we're waiting is all of those lines that had numbers across the top and letters down the side, it's putting a cut line at those lines. And that's how we're going to tell Design Space if our machine is calibrated like it should be or not, by using those lines. Now, you see it says again, without unloading, examine the lines on the top and the right side of the calibration sheet. Use drop downs to select the number or letter of the printed lines where the cut is centered with the printed line. So I want you to look on the screen. This is what we're looking for. We want our cut to be just like this, okay? So I'm going to look on the top line to choose it first. For me, the best one is number 12. And then in the letters, the best one for me is M. Now this may change for you whenever you're calibrating your machine, so you want to make sure you check your cuts. Now it does another cut, and this is where it's cutting this big square here, and it's asking us that same question as before. Without unloading, examine the cut through the middle. If it's easier to see, you may want to remove it from the calibration mat. Are you satisfied with the cut? So we're going to look at this big center cut, and yes, I am satisfied with that cut, so I'll click continue. Now I want to show you this. I want you to see this here. So the cuts, some of them are way off, and then you find the one that's the best. And I might should have used 13 now that I'm looking at it in this light, but it's fine. And then down here, my M was the best. And you can see when you check your cuts how good they are by peeling these guys away. Let me peel this up here in the middle. So you can see that it did cut all the way around. It did touch the black is what it was asking me. So just to show you how that works. Now I know you may be thinking, I would be so frustrated if I went to make stickers and I had to calibrate my mat. But I'm going to tell you something. Whenever there's an update, it is best to go ahead and calibrate when it tells you to, because you'll get better results, more consistent results if you calibrate when it tells you. So I always say this, if I'm going to be making a Cricut project, I try to allow myself a little bit of time because there could be an update or there could be something like this I need to do. All right, now that we've calibrated, back to the screen, I'm going to say not now because I've already calibrated and we're good. And now we're going to send these to the printer. Now, I'm sending this to my printer, okay? The Design Space or your machine does not print. It's your printer that prints, okay? Notice here, 4 cut sensor marks and a directional arrow will be printed with your design to aid accuracy. I love that. I'm going to say next. Now, it is telling me white or light colored material is recommended for print and cut. It's telling me the page size. This is my printer. If I had a different one, I could choose it, okay? It's asking me how many copies. If I wanted to make multiples of this, this is right where I do it. So easy. And then you see where it says add the bleed? That gives an extra space around it. I'm going to go to this little info so you can see what this says. It says the bleed extends ink slightly beyond the border of the image to eliminate a white margin. I'm going to tell it no to that because I don't want any bleed. I want it to cut exactly where we said. Now this use system dialog, I'm just going to leave this as it sits, okay, and say print. Now I'll go pick up the sheet. I'm going to go ahead and print the other 4 and then I'll go pick them up and we'll see what it looks like. In case you're wondering how I do that, because my printer's not in the same room, all I have to do is I'll click print here and let this one print. Instead of telling it to cut now, I'll go right here and click the next mat and say send to printer, tell it next, do this and say print. That way I don't have to cut them while I'm sitting here. I can print all 4, go pick them up from the printer room, and then come right back. Your printer will probably be in the room with you. Mine just isn't. Okay, so you may notice that my stickers look different. The reason is after I printed the first ones, I decided I didn't want to do the waterproof. So I went to the store last night and I got regular sticker paper and redid them. So now you can see they're kind of laid out differently. One of the reasons is, and this is for you to know too, I forgot to save it. So not saving it meant I didn't know what size I had resized them. So I did the resizing today. They're laid out a little bit different. No big deal. So we're going to run this through the Cricut. Now, looking on the screen here, it's already printed. That's what number 1 says. Number 2 says base material to set to printable sticker paper white, which is what I've got. We're doing kiss cut pressure. Okay, it's already set. So I'm not going to change this one. If you change this to more or less, it's going to change what the Cricut is wanting to do with the kiss cut. So I'm going to leave that alone. And then it's telling me the 5-point blade and to load this to the machine. So this guy is going into the machine. it's reading the mat, it's checking that it's aligned, and then it's going to use its sensors to find where the stickers are. So that's what the machine's doing now. And it's ready to go. So here we go. I want to point something out to you. So because I printed mine 1, 2, 3, I printed mine in succession. When I come back here to page number 2, see how it says send to printer? I don't have to send it to printer again because I already have it. What I can do is see over here where it says I've already printed. I can click that and it just takes me here. This is where I pick my material, and I'm actually using printable sticker paper white. And then I do exactly what I did earlier, load the mat and put it in. If you're like me and you printed everything all at one time, like you printed all 3 sheets and then you're loading them on the mat, you want to make sure that what the Cricut says you need to load next is what you're loading next. Okay, that's real important. Make sure you're not loading the wrong sticker sheet because it won't cut correct. All right, guys, there you go. 3 sheets of stickers done super easily. I want to tell you, too, this is not Cricut sticker sheet. You guys asked me what kind I use, and I normally always use Cricut, but I did not have the right kind in the Cricut. So at my local Walmart, I picked up the Nina version. I'm going to link Nina for you because it really works well. I also wanted to make sure I showed you this. There's that little arrow to let you know for sure that this is facing up. And you might be like, well, I always know it's facing up based on how these look. Sometimes they turn things sideways to make them fit. None of these did. Well, this one is. But sometimes when they turn things, you know, sideways, you might get a little confused about where up is. Just always look for that little arrow. All right, I hope that helped you with your sticker making. It couldn't be easier, and it is super fun. And if you're interested in a Cricut class, I want to remind you one more time, December 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I am doing Cricut Boot Camp. You can get in on that event. It's an online event. You can watch the videos while it's live, or you can watch them later. All that information will be in the description below as well. Thanks so much for being here. Till next time, bye now.